What's up? This is the Minister of Beauty, and I want to share how to be unstoppable as an entrepreneur and how to boss up in business. What's up, everyone? This is Elizabeth, and I am the Minister of Beauty, and I share the Bible. That is business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So, I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since 2006 and a beauty business entrepreneur, to be more specific, since 2008. It has been an incredible journey, but I wanted to share some tips on how to be an unstoppable entrepreneur and how to boss up a business. I feel it's something that's really important to note because there are a lot of flash in the pan businesses and so-called entrepreneurs who don't really know what it means to be a business owner. And it's not as easy as a lot of people on social media try to make it seem. So I wanted to share a few tips on how you can be unstoppable as an entrepreneur. One thing I want to know is the reason why you have to know how to be unstoppable as an entrepreneur is because there are going to be things that are going to come in your path that are going to try to stop you. So if you don't know how to navigate and you don't know how to be that unstoppable entrepreneur, then you are going to be one of those people who did own a business at one point or who was an entrepreneur at one point, but they no longer are. So I'm going to get into these tips right now. Okay, so number one is don't let fear stop you. Fear is going to be there whether you like it or not. Fear is always around, and you have to decide if you're going to allow that fear to drive you or if you're going to override that fear. You see, I had a lot of fears when I stepped out into entrepreneurship, and I didn't put both of my feet all the way in the water. When I started in business many years ago, when I started in business, I still worked other jobs while I was on my entrepreneurial journey, but I knew that this was what I wanted to do for a living. So that was scary to me because that wasn't something that I had ever done before. I've always worked one job at a time, which was more so my career, I should say, because I was a legal assistant for 12 years. So even though I worked in different law firms and different offices over the years, I never worked in more than one job in, the same time. It was always, if I left one, I went to another. It never was me working several jobs at once. So that was extremely scary for me. And starting my business, starting from scratch, not having anything to really begin with, that was extremely scary. But if I allow that fear to stop me, then I would still probably be either still working as a legal assistant or worse, I might just be working some other jobs just because I could not take it anymore. And I just decided, you know what? I don't want to be in this law firm situation, atmosphere, whatever, anymore. So I'm just going to do something completely different, even if it's not what is making me happy. Even though I started in my business and I did not know what I was going to be making, if I was going to be even making anything, I did it anyway, and it made me feel good. It gave me peace. I didn't have peace in the work atmosphere in a long time, and there were definitely the moments that I had fear when it came to the finances because I wasn't sure how much money I was going to be making, and I knew what I needed for my family and for my household. So those were a lot of scary times. I didn't let the fear stop me. So if you're going to be an unstoppable entrepreneur, you cannot let fear stop you. Recognize it, deal with it, but don't let it stop you. Don't let it paralyze you. So number two is know your worth. When you know your worth, then it doesn't matter what other people say to you that will try to get in your head and try to mess you up or mix you up and make you feel like you're not charging a fair price, your services are too costly, you're too expensive, you're not worth that, you're just starting out, how do you think you have the nerve to charge this? So, just whatever people might try to make you feel about what you are deciding to charge for your services. You have to know your worth. And when you know your worth to you may not be as high as some people think it should be, because there have been times where people have said things like, you're not charging enough for this. This is too low. But of course, the people that say that, they usually won't give you more than what you are charging. They'll just make those comments and say, oh, that's a great deal. You're not charging enough, or, you should probably think about increasing that price. But I'm just saying, you have to know what your worth is. And even if, what someone else is saying about you're not charging enough, you may know that, well, in actuality, I am charging more than enough for this, because when I count up the cost of the products and the packaging and whatever, and what it all boils down to, for me, this is worth it. So you just have to know your worth, whatever that is, and don't allow other people that don't have a stake in your business, that are not contributing to your business in a positive way, and they're definitely not contributing to your business financially, be the reason why you're not charging what you feel you should be charging. And it's not just about knowing your worth in terms of your services or your products, but just knowing your worth all overall in general as a person, and what you will not put up with, what you will not stand for. Knowing your worth as a person, that is extremely important. So know your worth if you want to be an unstoppable entrepreneur. Number 3 is be humble. There is nothing more turn-offish, if that's a word or phrase. There's nothing that turns me off more than someone who is extremely arrogant and they don't have any humility. Humility takes you a long way. When you are humble, people want to help you out. People want to do business with you. And being humble doesn't mean you have to be all meek and lowly and walking with your head down and not, looking at people in their face or in their eyes and having direct eye contact, because sometimes I feel that people may think that that's humility, and in actuality that's not. Being humble doesn't mean being shy. Just being humble just means not being boastful, not being arrogant, not being cocky, just being toned down and making sure that you're not putting people off by your character and by your personality, because people don't really want to do business with a jerk. You may be great at what you do. I pride myself, humble. Anyway, you know what I mean. But I pride myself on being really great at what I do as a licensed esthetician, because I've invested a lot of time and money and effort into my education and providing great services for my clients. So I pride myself in doing great services for them, but I don't brag about it, and I don't give off an air about, I'm the best. I may have a title for being a master of some of the services that I offer in my business, but that has just come with the time and the experience that I have gained. But I don't walk around with a cape on, or with a crown on, or with a scepter in my hand, saying I am the queen of, beauty services, or the queen of aesthetics, or whatever. And I'm not knocking anyone that does that, because sometimes people just do that for fun, and that's cool too. But you just have to know where to draw the line, and know when it is coming off as arrogance and cockiness versus just having a great sense of humor and making your platform a fun experience. So being humble, it really is extremely important if you want to boss up in business and be an unstoppable entrepreneur. Number 4 is focus, focus, focus. And I say that 3 times for emphasis, but focus is really important if you want to boss up in business and be an unstoppable entrepreneur. There are going to be so many things that are going to come in your path that are going to be distractions. And a lot of times those things are, they're not coincidences, but they're by design. Sometimes you will have people that will bring things to your attention that you did not even know about, you didn't need to know about, but it's just to throw off your focus. I'll give you an example. When I started out in business many years ago, I was a solo entrepreneur. I started solo. I didn't have any employees when I started out. And I was one of the first to provide the services that I specialize in my state. And so over the years, the service became more popular, and then you had more people doing the services. I didn't focus on what other people were doing. I focused on me. I focused on what I was doing. I focused on my business and what I could do better. But there would be times when someone would just come to me, just clear out of the blue, and they would spark up a conversation, saying, hey, have you heard of such and such? Or have you heard of this business? They're doing the same thing. And it's like, and your point is? Distractions. It's to throw me off my focus. And I'm not saying that all of the people that would do that or say those things were doing it intentionally, but the purpose of the distractions coming is to throw you off of your focus. And in the very beginning, when people did that to me, it hurt a little bit, because it's like, why are you sharing this with me? I don't really need to know that. But sometimes people don't really mean any harm by it. It's just small talk, and they think that maybe that type of small talk would be fun or beneficial for you in some way. I don't know what their thoughts are, but don't get off of your focus. Keep your focus on you. Keep your focus on your business. Keep your focus on the things that really matter and the things that are important, because we live in an amazingly abundant world, even though the world is, for the most part, really negative, but there is enough out here for everyone. We don't have to look at what other people are doing. We don't have to be in competition with others and see what they're doing so that we can try to do the same thing. There's enough for everyone, and not everyone is for everyone either. So I know that not everyone is my client, just like the others, not everyone is their client. Those who I am supposed to work with, they will come to my business. Those that I'm not supposed to work with, they won't come to my business, or they may stop coming to my business if they did once before. It's all good, because one may leave and 3 more will come. So it really is all good. It all works out. So don't lose your focus. And finally, number 5 is keep moving through hard times. This sounds easier said than done, and I know it, but in order to boss up in business and to be an unstoppable entrepreneur, you have to keep moving through hard times. I'm not saying that you may not pause, because you may pause. You may stop for a moment, but you don't stop completely. Because if you want to be unstoppable in business, you better know that there are going to be hard times that will come, whether it's, issues that you may have in your family. It may be some health issues that you may experience, unfortunately. It may be some financial things that happen. Life, I like to say to people all the time, life is not the things that are planned, it's the things that we don't plan for. And when we are alive and we're living in this life, we keep going until we're done. So in this life, we're going to go through things that we did not plan for, that we did not expect, but we keep going. So in order to be unstoppable in business and to boss up as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to know how to navigate through the hard times. You may have to have therapy. You may need a counselor. You may need a coach. You may need a confidant. You may need a number of things. Sometimes you might just need a few good glasses of wine every now and then, but you have to know how to get through hard times and do not stop. Okay, so those are my tips, just a few of them, for how to be an unstoppable entrepreneur and how to boss up in business. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, again, on this channel, I share the Bible. That is business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. And this is Business Mondays on the Minister of Beauty channel. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. leave me a comment. Let me know if you get anything from this video. If you have any tips, put it down in the comment section as well. I will have more to come in this series, so just stay tuned. So until the next video, guys, this is Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, and I hope you all have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.